their stances are pretty much the same.
Yeah.
But O'Neill, yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. How we doing? Happy Thursday. What's everybody? Welcome back. To my channel. Today we're back with another Pittsburgh Penguins franchise episode here. And today we're going to be getting on the the Ottawa Senators here. I was calling them the Edmonton, I don't know what I was going to call them, but yeah. If you guys like 2,000 videos on the leave a like, subscribe, and notification bell. Hit me up on Edmonton. And let's get into it.
As the Pirates lead it 4-3.
Yes, there's a Pirates game on as well. And this is the last stream of the day here.
Self-control and self-discipline. If I could have dieted
I'll be
and
streaming
exercised my way out of this,
Saturday morning too. Not
the greatest misconception is that a GOP one is the easy way out. I just needed help, and that's what Mochi gave me. My Mochi doctors understand what it's like to deal with obesity and to live with it your whole life. Mochi just takes a mental load off. They know how to treat it without a bias. Check out joinmochi.com.
Once I'm done with this being, I'm going to stream here.
Dreaming of getting to the big game?
I wanted to go since I was a kid.
Here comes Zub.
Get a last-minute flight. Travel safe, man. Child.
The search is over. The content you seek.
I'll be using Sports at Pittsburgh again later tonight, but yeah.
Pittsburgh.com. An all-new digital experience with news and exclusive content. Get the latest coverage on all Pittsburgh sports teams, plus stream live games, SMP 360, and so much more. SportsNetPittsburgh.com is the one-stop shop for the best in Pittsburgh sports. On your screen and in the palm of your hand. Check out SportsNetPittsburgh.com today.
And blood orange. Cola Regions flavor pack. Get in on the secret. Get into a Kohler beer.
Scoreboard is 4-3 Pittsburgh. UPMC, the official healthcare provider.
Oh my God, it's
coverage on SNP. Even the pierogies have made the trip down from Pittsburgh. A lot of visitors, Pirate fans, and back to the dugout. Neil Walker, I think Tony Beasley's back with them, right?
I got them both now.
All right.
I'll tell you what, the returns have been terrific, gentlemen. As far as the base running and the situational base running, we saw a guy take off. You can't tell me anything doesn't get you more excited than a ball in the dirt. 390 right there. Am I right?
Absolutely. That's what we've been preaching from the very beginning. Bees and I have been tag teaming the guys, and it's been really good.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we got to do. We take advantage of every mistake opposition makes. So, but with the anticipation of it, if that's not there, then we don't do that. So.
Now, in the early going in spring training, yeah, I know you guys, and talking to Donnie, want to be very aggressive with your, how do you kind of categorize as far as your secondary leads, your primary leads? What are you preaching to these guys, especially UT at first base, with getting good jumps, and whether your guys going to go from standstill. We see some guys go take stolen base attempts as they're moving. Are you individualizing all that stuff with each player?
Yeah, absolutely, definitely.
I just saw him last night for the first time.
Different body types. But the biggest thing that we're trying to get is just to make sure guys have the max lead that's best for them, and a good timing of the secondary lead as well, which helps on the dirt ball reads.
And tell me, obviously, your perspective from third base. You're dealing with the guys on second base and whatnot. We saw a funny situation yesterday with O'Neill Cruz where he came, or was it earlier today, where he got to third and he kind of.
Maybe doing that there, Freddie. You won.
What were you saying to him?
I just got to push him back hard. I mean, because I could tell by his
mannerisms
that he just assumed.
What a name! I forgot about him.
First base. But we try to tell guys not to assume. We got to. If he mishandles the ball, then you round it, and he's going to backpick you, and that's what kind of happened. He kind of gave up on a little bit. So, as a third base coach, my job is to make sure that I'm the part of when he's not engaged to get him back engaged. So I've got to be the eyes and ears. And so fortunately, that worked out. But it sparks a good conversation we can have so that he doesn't take anything for granted.
In Ottawa, the real Penguins are on Pittsburgh tonight against the Devils.
A lot of these players, personally, have you had to change your verbiage or your hand signals of third base from first to third and second to home, and on third base on sac flies and all that?
Well, right, not so much, but getting them acclimated to what I like to do as a third base coach, getting them acclimated to my hand signals and things, what certain things mean that I may do. I may do something weird that I haven't, that they haven't seen. And for me, it's a good opportunity for me to really get to know who can do what. From a base running standpoint, like who can go two bases, who can go score from first to home, who runs out of gas, when they pass third base if they're trying to score a double from first. And so, it's an information league for me right now. So just get to know each guy and what they can and can't do. So pushing the envelope a little bit, but being smart at the same time.
I know the guys upstairs are and everybody in Pirates Nation is very interested in the work. We talked ad nauseum about the work that O'Neill's doing. Obviously, you both have you've worked a lot with him the past couple of years, and you both are going to work with him. Give us kind of a 5,000-foot view on what you're preaching to him in general. Are you asking just be athletic and all that, or are you kind of giving him more specific details?
Yeah, I'm trying to get him not to just be an athlete out there. I mean, obviously that sounds ridiculous, but I want him to be an athlete and use what God has given him, but at the same time, turn that more skillful. What he does and how he does it, how he moves, how he shows up for every pitch, how he gets off the mark, his raw efficiency, and the decisions that he makes. His arm talent is an unbelievable gift, but it can be an enemy as well if you don't if you think that I can always go for the lead runner. So just playing the game, play the scoreboard. There are times where we may be up 3 in the 7th and keep the double play in order. Yeah, and for T, for you,
we need to keep scoring runs
in the past year and beyond, what have you seen from Jump Street here in camp that you've been impressed with, or any changes that you've seen in particular?
I think the biggest thing is just seeing that he had a full off season to prepare for it after having a full season of playing. So he knows, like, hey man, when we get to July, my legs are heavy. Like, so when you're training, that's what you're thinking about, those things right there. And then also I'm seeing him like embrace his gifts and truly use it. That's the biggest thing. It's like I have the gift of height, gift of running. All those things are really cool. So he's using that to his advantage, and he's listening to Tony, and it's just fun to just watch him grow and turn into a real leader out there now.
How are you guys handling some of your in between stolen base type of guys? Are you trying to challenge them a little bit more early on to see what you have in those guys, or is it more of let's be super aggressive with our primaries and our secondaries, and if you get a chance to take a stolen base attempt, go ahead and give it a shot?
Well, I think Brock's doing a good job. Those tweeners, those are guys that pitchers just actually let us know. Like, sometimes they fall asleep on those guys, and their times increase, and they pay attention to the bona fide guys, but then you get a tweener that he's not going to run, and so they get more locked into just pitching and the runner, and so they fall into cadences and head tendencies.
Another save by Freddie.
So they give us opportunities to steal. So
head of the third, head of the second.
Then he's pushing those guys.
And T, the skill set that we're seeing in the early going for people that aren't familiar with Jake Mangum, he can obviously move. He can really run. And he puts the ball in play. And we talked about, if he's able to get balls to the right of the shortstop or left of third baseman, he's got a chance to be safe at first. What's your early read on the things that he can do and what we might be expected to see when the season starts?
He just brings plenty of juice. Like, he has energy, he's walking energy, and he wants to be good and run the bases.
Yeah.
So it's really good that a guy like him and O'Neill can carry our base stealing, group. And then the other guys, the second, third tier guys, can actually fall in line and go underneath their umbrella, which is the biggest thing. And so we're pushing guys, but we're being smart how we push those guys as well. We're not just being aggressive because everybody's being aggressive. Like, when we started spring training, we were playing as though like we're in Citi Field, like with that type of mindset. So everything matters, home to first, you matter after you get a base hit. Like, your job is not done until you score. And so those are the things that our guys are doing that you're starting to see.
And to add on to the energy, in particular the guys that we've added with Marcel and Jake and Brandon and Ryan, can either you speak on what you've seen, not necessarily in comparison to the past years, but what those guys, the energy and the personalities that they've been brought and kind of meshed in with what was already here?
I think the biggest thing that they bring is a humble confidence. And that's what our group, definitely needs. And, Marcel, Big Bear, it's his big personality. It takes pressure off other guys where they can be themselves. And they lead how they lead, whether it's example, Ryan is verbal, how they're leading how they lead. And that's the coolest thing, is that we get to allow guys to be who they really are. And that impacts and affects other guys as well.
Very much.
My phone is blowing up the Snapchat again.
UPMC Health Plan, the official health plan of Pittsburgh hockey coverage on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
Where they won too, and so they bring an element of expectation. You know, like they expect to win. And I said something earlier, if I could, we're not playing teams, and they're playing us, and we have to have that mentality. And so I see that being a part of our MO right now, and it's a beautiful thing because
around times it's 2.
Winning, a part of winning is getting guys
I need to tie it up. I need to
understand winning and the hurry is up to a standard of winning. And so they bring that. And so it's beautiful.
So my last question is very intricate for you guys at first base and third base boxes. Obviously, there's no rules in place. How are you guys feeling? In general, about that, is that an adjustment so far?
It's a spot where it says run on first. They have a visual of me. Ideally, I like to be run on first. I like to be down the line. I can't now, so just the adjustment when the ball's hit, getting up the line and then moving back. So it's added movement. So you got to kind of preset your mind. Like if the ball's hit here, ball's hit there, I got to do this.
Oh, my YouTube is blowing up again. 3 YouTube notifications.
UPMC Health Plan, the official health plan of Pittsburgh hockey coverage on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
They're hanging around the base, so now we can get a little bit more creative in there. It's been a huge adjustment because one, I'm used to being closer, so now I'm talking a lot louder to the guys and just doing what we can. And some of the new guys are getting used to having a guy that talks a lot over there at first base because there's so much going on.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. I know you got to get back to work. Thank you for your time. Thanks, Neil. Back to you guys.
There we go.
All right, we'll be back to Neil Walker with more $4-3.
1 second, it's a pipe dream.
$4-3.
And the next, it's a dream come true.
Stores.
1 second, you know it's all protected. And then... Is everything okay? Police have been dispatched? Well,
4-3.
I still do. Don't know how to handle all this? Thumbtack knows. Get recommendations for all your home projects. Hire the right pro today. 1 second, they're a neighbor you like.
Stop
The
my
next,
force.
they're a neighbor you trust. 1 second, you're worrying about your home.
God dang it.
And then, thanks
Well,
to
3
ADT,
times to go, second
there's a lot
period.
less to worry about.
3-2.
Feel secure enough to let others in. With Trusted Neighbor from ADT.
Associates. 4-3 Pirates. Bottom of the fifth, thanks again to Tarek Brock, Pirates first base coach and base running instructor, and Tony Beasley there on your right, back in the organization as Pirates third base coach and outfield instructor. Talking with Neil Walker in the dugout, those two.
4-2 game now.
And now I think he's got Matt Haig, Pirates hitting on the hit collector.
I do.
Have a 2-goal lead again.
We're down here. We're talking a little shop here. He's watching
11:33
and the approach is bad right here. Probably his last of the day, I would assume, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so now Matt, we talked a little bit about the vibe of camp so far. I know for you, last year was your first time being at the head of the offensive group. Now the second year going into camp, explain to us some of the things that seem to have been a little bit easier for your job title.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, just with DK coming in, changing the culture. You can
Don Kelly.
come in here the second year.
I love Don Kelly.
Just
I'm
really
excited
preach and
for him
compete,
to
and you
coach
see
the
that
Pirates.
be infectious throughout the organization.
They had Derek Shelton, who was an absolute
especially with
Don Kelly was not
as
Don
an
Kelly.
organization,
Sorry.
just being able to support them more.
Their
whether
approach
it's
was absolutely
creating,
booty
accountability
sheets
measures
for
and
this
basically
organization.
just trying to help support them be the best version of themselves. And what
I
that
mean, we
means,
had a
it's
losing
different for every
record
guy.
last year.
And as long
But
as we're leading into
I'm hoping
competing
and
for our
praying that we can have a
bats,
winning.
executing
Hoping and praying we
approaches,
can have a
especially
winning
this early in
record
spring, just
under Don
making
Kelly
sure that
this year in
control,
2026.
they know they're going to speed up in a game and making sure
Honestly,
when
once Jones comes back,
each
you have
guy's A swing
Steens,
is, as
up
long
Steens,
as they're
Steens,
swinging at the right
Steens,
stuff like we were
Keller,
talking about
Ashcraft,
last time we got
Chandler,
a chance to speak. It's just
Dennis Santana.
helping them kind of work through that and continue to build as we move forward.
7-17 to go, third
And,
period.
I personally think, having watched the first handful of games, I've been very impressed with the approach, particularly with guys in scoring position, guys 2 strikes, 2 outs. We've seen a lot of guys, shorten up, use the big part of the field, use the backside of the field. Is that something in your description of what you're trying to push toward these guys? That's something that you talk good about.
Yeah, and like some of the guys who brought in too are like big advocates of that. Like O'Hearn's probably one of the biggest advocate for being adjustable, especially the way teams are pitch designing.
I'm liking O'Hearn.
Pitch shaping and going at guys. Everything's disguised. So for each guy's A swing, what does that mean to be adjustable? And that's through contact points, certain heights, eliminating certain zones, and understanding also how the league's attacking them. Paying attention to the trends and what the game's going to show them, and just being able to help support them through that.
Now, your offensive lineup construction looks a lot different really than the last year or two, right? So, explain to me how you feel. And we talked about a little bit about the other day about, when you look at the entire group and you think about how we're going to score runs, how are we going to score that extra run? Is it more approach based? Is it these additions taking off a little bit of pressure off of some of the other guys? What do you think?
I think all those, everything you just said above, just being more dynamic, I would say in general. We got a good blend of guys who can change the game with one swing. We got on-base guys, contact guys, speed guys. So just more matchup proof in general.
35
especially with
to
bats in our lineup. There's just a lot of guys that can do different things, and being able to put those guys together and then have the more role type guys be really good at their game. I'm not saying they can't do more, but like understanding how they fit with roster construction and then trying to execute their strengths on a consistent basis. And at the same time, some more of the role guys are hungry, they're learning, they're understanding the league more, they're developing and continue to push that envelope. And the biggest thing with the guys who brought in is they want to continue to push themselves, and the guys who brought in are big on that.
And last one for you, how confident are you feeling? We see, as you mentioned, a lot of the left-handed additions with Brandon Lau and Jake Mangum, obviously switch hitter, but you got to feel pretty good about, even if we have a lefty on the mound, not necessarily having all those guys not in the lineup. You got to feel pretty good about those type of guys with what we've seen in the past from those guys, lefty on lefty.
Yeah, and there's we talked about before, like a lot of our lefties put a lot of work on for producing against left-hand pitching, so we don't have as many pockets throughout the game where other teams can kind of circle us and attack us certain ways. So it's come together, and the guys who brought in, again, I keep saying it over and over again, and they bring the team with them. So we're almost on our end, it's just full support mode, taking a step back, which is refreshing.
Well, we appreciate your time, Matt. We know you got some work to do, so nice job in the early going here, and we'll continue it. Back to you guys.
Neil, thanks. Thanks to Matt Haig, second year as hitting coach. He and the rest of the coaches, the staff, feel a whole lot better about things. The additions that Ben Sherrington brought on, and of course we keep stressing what tone. And you heard Matt Haig talk about, you heard Tony Beasley and Tark Brock, the tone that has been set by the skipper, Don Kelly.
Indeed. And
exactly.
Not only, obviously, the vibe that Don Kelly brings.
Minute left of the second.
Not only he's putting in, but everybody else is putting in. I can't say enough. That's a base hit. There's no way.
Second
Speed is dangerous, guys. Speed is dangerous. Not like just thinking.
I think
4, 3,
you're bringing in
veteran players that have had success, great success hitting the ballpark, success driving in runs, playing in postseason games.
Oh, he's been
Can't do anything but help this coaching staff. It's going to help Matt Haig. It's going to help Tarek and Tony Beasley. And I guarantee you, these veteran hitters that they brought in, Lau and O'Hearn and Osuna, that they're going to help these guys in certain situations, things to look for, things that they have done to make them successful.
I'm hoping this is a decent year for the Pirates. I hope this is a good year. I hope I have a good year with Pirates baseball. Good year with Penguins hockey.
Great approach there from Nick Gonzalez, getting the fastball out over. Big hole on the right side. Could have put 5 guys over there on the right side. Wouldn't have mattered. That's a base hit.
Stop 5-4-3.
Yeah, it's the combination of the additions, the changes, and Don Kelly, for sure. But bringing in the right people. 100%. And the attention to detail. Yeah, we could probably talk
to very shortly. Not the Pirates, but
it's not just going to be
5-3.
It's going to be way more than just what you typically see or hear. It's going to be attention to detail. It's going to be pre-pitch preparation. I know Tony's been dealing with that already all spring long, as far as making sure these guys know where they're going with the ball before.
Gardner is gone.
We'll continue. Pirates lead at 4-3.
With a 6.
Insurance or not, Good RX is the winning hand. No hoops, no car wash, and no sense paying more than you have to.
With up to 80% off at pharmacies nationwide.
Even get them delivered. Lickety split.
Because when it comes to your house,
sky-high prices can get. Y'all keep wrangling them savings now, you hear?
save time and money on prescriptions. Check Good RX.
When it comes to weight loss meds, folks will rope in with one price.
Then hidden fees start coming out the woodwork.
Good RX will show you the cost up front.
I'll ring a bell for that. Weight loss plans for $39 per month plus med costs. Check Good RX.
What's that? It's compounded hogwash.
Bet those weight loss meds ain't FDA approved.
Smells like Slangor to me. This here's the real deal. Yeehaw!
Weight loss plans for $39 per month plus med costs. Check Good RX.
The search is over. The content you seek and crave is now all in one place. SportsNetPittsburgh.com. An all-new digital experience featuring news and exclusive content. Get the latest coverage on all Pittsburgh sports teams, plus stream live games through S&P 360 and so much more. SportsNetPittsburgh.com is the one-stop shop for the best in Pittsburgh sports. On your screen and in the palm of your hand. Check out SportsNetPittsburgh.com today. .com.
Starters have finished up. Marcel Osuna and O'Neal Cruz head toward the clubhouse. Located down the lines, right field line, and the McKechnie clubhouse. Cam Sanders is the new Pirates pitcher.
6 appearances last year. 5 walks, 4 punch-outs.
Sorry, I was getting water.
Changes.
Refilling my water.
With Cam Sanders pitching down to Sean Ross, non-roster invitee. By the way, the conversation that I don't know if it was much of a conversation, but Marcel Osuna was doing most of the talking as we saw them walking off the field. Mm-hmm. I think that's another element that can't be ignored. I think there will be conversation. It might be what his at bat, for instance. Like, why was I looking at that, or why did I do this, or why did I do that? And I think that's another thing that guys will come to these veteran hitters, these veteran players. Got some sort of insect problem down there.
Oh, and to add on to that, I mean, John, you've been in many hitters meetings as I have, and all the information they're giving you before games on opposing pitchers and opposing pitching staffs. There's a lot of value that when the players run it, and the veteran guys have really good perspective on guys that they've faced. That speaks more volumes than really anything else, in my opinion.
UPMC Health Plan, the official health plan of Pittsburgh hockey coverage on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
And that much, all of those things are integral to a day-to-day life in the big leagues for offensive players.
So much could be learned just from you could be sitting there having a pregame meal or a postgame beverage. How much you can learn from what you just saw, what you experienced. Obviously, the pregame prep and the information's out there, and how to decipher it. Veteran guys have obviously experienced much more and can kind of break it down and simplify it. Post game, you sit there and talk about what just happened and what you could have done differently. You learn a lot by just talking the game out. And whether it be pre-game, post-game.
Well, guys, I'm down here in the dugout. I've grabbed Christopher Negron, the guy with the most on his plate in a spring training environment, not to mention just in general. Christopher, is this the most stressful time of the spring training game for you right in this 5th, 6th inning?
It's been a little bit different, that's for sure, watching these games. But no, we just had a full line change. So once I had that done, I was definitely able to take a second to come up here and chat with you for a bit.
Now, talk to me, Chris, about, this is the first time you're doing this bench coach job. You've obviously been around the game for a long period of time. I always loved when you had ex players that were your coaches that were utility guys and guys that played a lot of different positions and saw the game from a different lens. How have you settled into this role so far, and what has surprised you?
Who will be the fastest pitcher in 2026?
And what have you enjoyed more than anything else?
Oh no, it's been a great experience so far. And like you're saying, having the utility background, I think definitely helps when relating to the players and building those relationships and speaking to them and kind of coming up with when I was utility,
to go. Maybe in my 3.
And being able to bounce around,
10 after 3.
when to prepare when you're coming off the bench and all that type of stuff, and that type of role.
Not before.
I think definitely helps out.
You're
able to kind of see the things before they happen when you're coming off the bench and utility. So being in this position, being able to be that for Donnie, that sounding board, and also trying to be a couple steps ahead, just to present any situation that they come up.
Well, we've talked a lot, especially up in the booth, about the vibes around camp. You've been in many camps as a player. Can you speak on what you're seeing, what you're hearing, the type of conversations that are going on? The expectation level is obviously in a different area, and it's been in a while here. What have you seen that you've enjoyed?
The boys are buzzing. I will tell you that. Guys came in hungry. I mean, this has been one of the more impressive camps in terms of just when we showed up, there were so many people early. Very few showed up when it was actually time to report. Everybody got here early and ready. Like the spring training, you can tell wasn't time to build up. Guys came in after seeing live pitching at home. Their arms were ready to go. Like guys came in ready to compete this camp right out of the gate.
Oh, that's great. And just you run us through like specifically right now. You get the stopwatch. You've obviously helped make the line change here. What's going through your head as you're going through a spring training game on top of making sure the moves that are made are the proper ones?
Well, definitely before the game, there's a lot of scheduling, a lot of planning going on. I mean, Sean Bowman's over there. He's been helping me out an absolute ton.
I forgot
in game, like I said, just trying to be one step ahead, kind of like in the situation, just trying to figure out what exactly to do 4-3 game if we're throwing through or not doing anything at all. Good pitch. Just trying to stay on top of everything as much as I possibly can.
We know you're playing this full, so we appreciate your time. We're so excited that you're in this organization, and we know you're going to be an asset. So thank you and good luck to you.
I appreciate it. It's been so much fun already. I can't wait to get going.
All right, guys, back to you.
Thanks down in the dugout there with Christopher Negron, the new Pirates bench coach, former big league player, and a handful of years in the Mariners organization. Was an assistant to the director of player development. Spent a little time as manager in Tacoma. First base coach for the Mariners. Third base coach as well for Seattle. And now Don Kelly's bench coach. The experience other organizations, winning organizations, player.
And what's interesting is with Donnie Kelly and
31,
number of guys on his staff is they were a lot of utility players, a lot of guys that have moved around, so they've experienced just about everything in the game. You know, they have experience in playing defense and coming off the bench and being prepared for a big pinch hit appearance. Anticipating when you might get thrown into a game by seeing who's throwing in the bullpen. You know, you might have a lefty due up next inning and you see a lefty's up, well, there's a good chance I might pinch hit next inning. I mean, happened way more frequently with the National League rules before the DH, but still, there's those type of guys are always thinking ahead. They're not just watching pitch to pitch. They're anticipating what's going to happen. You know, both in the bench, on the bench, in the field, at the plate. There's so much experience. You know, we talk about players with versatility. It's so much. It's so important nowadays with big pitching staffs that most benches are comprised with guys that can move around infield, outfield. But it's important to have those guys prepared. You know, just about every pitch, every game, if they're in the game or not, to be ready to go and be able to handle it.
Bases loaded here. Cam Sanders, who made his major league debut with the Pirates last year. Bases loaded situation and a pop-up. Second baseman is Deuce Gorson, and the right fielder is Dom Fletcher. Fletcher makes the catch. The starters are out of there, but players now, some non-roster invitees. There's all battling.
Hey, guys, I got a very important question. I was able to wrangle Don Kelly here. Hey, DK, what's for dinner tonight?
I don't know. Where are we going? Who's buying?
Who's buying?
You tonight. Who you
We're going to Chipotle.
Who are you? Who else are you inviting?
Rocky didn't make the list. Rowdy, you're definitely invited.
Oh, thank you.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is unbelievable.
It's really unbelievable.
Yeah, doesn't seem fair.
Let's see if Cam Sanders can get himself out of this spot right here. Got a nice pop-up right there to keep a run from scoring. Oh, here we go.
That was one big out. Can we get a second?
All right.
Let her go.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Nice. Real nice.
And when you talk about Tony Beasley was talking about his work with the outfielders and you talk about pre-pitch preparation. The first out, just lazy fly ball. Nobody's going anywhere, especially with no outs. It was pretty shallow. That ball's hitting a little bit deeper, a little more down the line. There's one out, so there might be more likely to risk tagging, but you catch it and get rid of it. It doesn't even matter where it goes. They see that throw coming in, they're putting on the brakes. No way they're going to try to score that.
Scooped.
Who says pitchers aren't athletes?
Yeah. Neil, come on back up here.
All right, guys.
Dinner invitations.
30.
I'm
31.
34
That'll
pounds
do it.
down on GLP-1s. Healthier on road. Supported on road.
And the month of December, we go anyway.
Now, even in a pill. Weight loss
We
expertise.
only actually have one,
I'm moving better on road.
3.
I'm feeling better on road.
We're
I'm
getting to
Serena
the
Williams. This
who will
is
be
me
every
on
1,
road.
2, 3, 4,
Beautiful
5,
ladies, love
6,
that. Perfect.
7,
Let's get the
8,
lucky men in here, huh?
9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16.
Some days are just too important for a trashy suit. Rooms rent for free at blacktux.com.
Guys, I'm on the road. And I've lost 45 pounds. In fact, I've lost everything but my big mouth.
That'll do it for me on this one. If you guys have any questions, like, subscribe, and notification bell. Hit me up on Snapchat and my socials and bio. See you all in the next one. Peace.